Extern storage class specifier. Extern specifier in C used to declare variable with external linkage, meaning they are defined elsewhere in the program but accessible across multiple files or modules. It allows you to reference a global variable without creating new storage for the variable. To fully understand the extern, it is important to distinguish between declaration and definition. Declaration introduces the name and data type of an object, and definition allocates storage for the object. And it is important to note that an object may have multiple declarations but only one definition. Linkage categories in C. C has three categories of linkage that determines identifiers visibility across files, functions, and global variables accessible across all the files in a program are called external linkage. The objects which are declared within a file scope with static and visible only within the file are categorized into internal linkage. Local variables visible only within their code blocks are having no linkages. By preceding a variable with extern, we can define a variable without declaring it. It is useful when a variable is defined later in the same file or a different file in case of multiple file program. Let's try to understand the same thing using an example. In this example, we have defined two integers, first and last. Both integers are used in the program before its definition in line number 13. Let's try to run the program and see the result. As you can see, the first and last defined in line number 13 is printed in the output. Let's go back to the documentation and see the further. Important notes. From the example, we can say initialization of a variable with extern is equal to declare a variable with its definition. If a global variable is declared before the use, then extern is not required, and compiler resolves undeclared variable by checking its enclosing block and then it searches for the global scope. In multiple file program, extern is most important and helps to access global variable declared somewhere else without using additional memory. Let's try to understand the same thing using an example. In the extern example 2, we are going to utilize two source files written in a C, extern example2 underscore 1 and extern example2 underscore 2. In the first file, we have defined some global variables x, y, and ch. Additionally, we have declared some of the function as well. In the functions, function 1 is written in the same file, function 12 is also written in the same file, function 22 and function 23 is written in the second file. Function 22 is demonstrating a global variable change using an extern from the second file. In the same way, function 23 is demonstrating the same thing. In the function 12, we are going to understand the scope of a global variable and extern usage. In function 1, we are going to see the utilization of a global variable without extern as it is defined in the same file after the variable's definition. In line 21, the variable z is defined in the second file, and at the end we are going to print the value for the variables. Before running the example, we need to link our source file to generate our output. Without linkage, both the files will not be able to use the variables dependent on each other. To link, we need to open task.json file available in the VS Code folder. Here we are going to utilize file2 with this line. In my case, I am writing the full file path for the second file just for the understanding. In your actual project, you can utilize a convention and same convention can be utilized by a build system in the bigger project. Let's try to run the program and see the result. Our breakpoint is hit. In the left hand side, you can see the variable x, y and z is defined with some value. And let's try to see the value for ch. Let's go to the function 22 and try to see the code available in file 2. In the file 2, we are calling the variables defined in the file 1 using extern keyword. Here the externs ensures that x, y and ch are recognized in a file 2 without redefining them. The linker automatically resolves all the reference during the compilation process. In the function 2.2, we are changing the variable value for the x, and based on the expression it will become 2. And also note that in line number 5, the variable z is acting like a declaration as well as definition. Let's continue and see the further. In function 2.3, we are changing the value for global variable y. The same you can see from the left hand side watch window. In function 1.2, local variable x with value 20 is hiding the global variable x. If we go to the inner block, then inner block will hide value for the x appearing from the outer block as well as global variable, and it will print the same in the output. In the function 1, we are overwriting value for global variable x, and we are not using extern keyword as it is declared in the same file after variable's definition. Let's print the global variable x and global variable z value. In the function 1.2, within inner block, if we consider extern int x, then it will consider the variable x defined in the global scope. Hence, we can say that the compiler will resolve undeclared variable by checking enclosure block, then it will go to the global scope. Let's try to run the program and see the output for x. As you can see, the output is printed with numeric 2, which is equivalent to the global variable value found in the watch window. Let's go back to the documentation and try to understand the further. Best practice. In real-world projects, extern declarations are typically placed in header files and included in each source files. This avoids duplication and reduces the errors. It is important to note that extern can be applied to function declarations, but it is redundant since the functions already have external linkage by default. From this topic, you understand the role of extern in declaring variable with external linkage, distinguish between declaration and definition, and also learn the application of extern in single file as well as multiple file program, and also saw the best practices for using extern available in the world with header files.